Thank you all very much for the beautiful chanting. Good morning. Let's continue reading from the Living Name by Solinus Sachinandana Swami, a guide to chanting with absorption. We are on the second chapter of this beautiful guide book, and we are on the section where yesterday we were on the section where we lost in the name and then being alone, but in the best of company. So there were some examples being given over there. So bring the scent of Krishna to this world. As many devotees arrives awareness, the transformation takes place, and the higher consciousness, we bring fragrance from that Krishna consciousness to the world. So we become purified, we chant nicely, and also we give the same thing to the world. Now let's continue. Convinced by the experience is the subtitle of this particular chapter, Sambandha. In order to chant with that higher connection, you may need to experiment and see what works best for you. One simple suggestion to create Sambandha: sit before your deities or picture them in your mind when you chant. Look at them with the understanding that you belong to them. No need to make a big mental effort. Just sit and chant before them, focus and see what happens. If you do this and connect, you will experience a distinct improvement that starkly contrasts to when your mind is set to its default mode and goes all over the place. It is a different as grasping at the shadow of a meal versus eating an actual delicious meal. Srila Prabhupada writes in this connection, this is from Srimad Bhagavatam 1.2.8. The need of the spirit soul is that he wants to get out of the limited sphere of material bondage and fulfill his desire for complete freedom. That complete freedom is achieved when he meets the complete spirit, the personality of God. Next, the seed of Krishna consciousness. There's another section within this same chapter. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave an apt analogy of the cultivation of Krishna consciousness. He said the devotee should become a gardener who takes a seed, places it into fertile ground, and then waters it so that it can grow into a beautiful flower-bearing creeper. Over time, the creeper will grow so tall that ultimately it pierces the layers of this material world, reaches up to the divine abode of Goloka Vrindavana, and coils itself around Krishna's soft lotus feet for eternal shelter. It reminds of Mukundamala, Krishna Tvadiya Pada Pankaja Pancharanta Sloka, where exactly what has been mentioned here. In this analogy, the seed of bhakti is like a chickpea with two distinct sides. Number one, knowledge of Bhagavan, Atma, and Maya, that is Sambandha Jnana, and two, knowledge of the process of Bhakti Yoga, Abhidheya Jnana. This seed must be planted in the Antakarana, or the inner self, also known as the mind or subtle body, which has four levels. One, Mana, the reactive mind; Buddhi, the reflective mind; Chitta, the subconscious mind; Ahankara, the feeling of identity. These are different names for the same mind: Mana, Buddhi, Chitta. The seed must be sown deep inside so that you internalize who Krishna is, what Atma is, and what Maya is. You need to understand, I am not the body, I am the soul. This seed of bhakti must be planted so deep in your understanding that it reaches even the unconscious level. Then no storm can weather or destroy it. You will be fixed in the midst of every difficulty. But if you don't place the seed deep enough, then you may lose it, or the birds of material desire will devour it. And remember, the mind is meant to be your servant. You are supposed to use your mind and not allow your mind to use you. All too often, our mind tells us what to do. The instrument has made an instrument of us. This is scandal. Therefore, plant the seed of bhakti deep in your mana, buddhi, chitta, and into your ahankara. Guard it closely, nurture it deep within you, and remain mindful of it. Let it strengthen you and become a part of you. Then you can truly chant. Otherwise, your practice will remain an imitation of bhakti, which only reminds you of the real thing and nothing more. Just as the shadow of an apple reminds you of an apple but cannot nourish you. Entering the school of Sambandha. Now, this is another section. Most problems of the conditioned soul are solved spiritually and not intellectually. Deep rooted desires for sense gratification, misapprehension, bad habits, and the like await purification of the heart before they can leave us in peace. For deep and permanent realization that are the results of true transformation, contemplate Sambandha constantly. Don't be lazy, and you will see exceptional results come your way. Sambandha helps you make rapid spiritual progress. Jagannath Pandita outlines this process in a nutshell in Prema Vivartha. Ye rupe samsara brahmete kona jnana sadhu sange nija tattva avagata hana. The living entity wanders in the material world, taking one birth after another. If by chance he comes in contact with a saintly person, he becomes immediately knowledgeable of his true identity as a pure spirit soul, an eternal servant of Krishna. Second, from the same Sri Prema Vivartana by Jagannath Pandit, Nija Tattva Jani Ara Samsarana Chaya Kenava Bajinu Maya Kare Haya Haya. Then he becomes enlightened by this knowledge and he does not want material entanglement any longer. He does laments, oh no, alas, why have I served this illusory material energy for so long? Third one. Kende bhale hohe Krishna ame tavadhasa tomara charana chadi haile sarvanasha. He bitterly regrets, sorry for my accent, for this beautiful language which I'm not familiar with. He bitterly regrets and cries out, Krishna, my Lord, I am your eternal servant. Ever since I left the shelter of your lotus feet, my life has been completely devastated. Kripa kari Krishna thare chadhana samsara, kakuti kariya Krishna yadi dhake ekabhara. Lord Krishna is so merciful that if anyone appeals to him earnestly, he immediately releases the jiva from material entanglement. Maya ke pichane rake Krishna pane chaya bhajite Krishna pada padma bhai. Then when the jiva breaks away from Maya's captivating spell and strives towards Lord Krishna by rendering devotional service, he regains the supreme shelter of the Lord's lotus feet. My comment, not my comment, Maharaj comment. This means that after we hear from Sadhu about how we are connected to Krishna, we should feel some excitement in our heart and express ourselves to Krishna. I have forgotten you for so many long years. Krishna will be delighted. He will say, I'm so happy you said that. I'm so happy you have said this. I try to tell you through through sadhus and the Shastra. I also sent you reminders through my material nature that you should turn to me, but you are not listening. Now, finally, you have heard me. Wonderful. So, the Maharaj is making a beautiful conversation between the Jivatma and Paramatma, that Bhagavan and Krishna, Jivatma, us, that we turn around and say to Krishna, I have forgotten you for so many long years. Long years goes beyond this lifetime. It goes Anadikala Janma. Krishna will be delighted. It is really, seriously, something very wonderful and should be blessed that if we really value and understand that how many lifetime we have gone through, it's just unbelievable. And it's just somehow the other, by the mercy of devotees, by the grace of Radharani, that we have got connected to Krishna this lifetime. It's just, if we think about this, we definitely we are fortunate to be in the association of the devotees, which were not all these lifetimes, all these previous lifetimes. Maybe somehow or the other, um, sometimes people say that I came to Krishna consciousness myself. No one introduced me into Krishna consciousness. I just came in. That is not true. The person is saying just because that person doesn't have access or doesn't remember the previous lives. Somewhere in some life, a devotee's blessing is definitely there. It just took some time for that person, that thing to come into act. Maybe that's happening in this lifetime. Therefore, devotees' mercies are so very important. We should not take it lightly. Otherwise, we would be wandering like anything. Uh, so we turn towards Krishna. I have forgotten you for so many long years. I was just remembering myself. I was just a student before I came into Krishna consciousness. It was just by one devotee who would have just minded his own business and did whatever he wanted to do. But that devotee just turned around and asked me, where are you from? Who are you? What do you do in the weekends? And all these questions, and then took me to the temple. So if that person decided, should have left me alone and minded his own work and things like that. So somehow or the other, devotees' mercies are flowing on in our life, and we should not forget that. We should be thankful for what we have in our life and be grateful. The heart which is not grateful is just shallow. There's nothing is going to have take place. Therefore, we should be remembering that yes, it is by the mercy of the devotees, by which came through by the mercy of Krishna and Radharani. Somehow I got connected to the association of the devotees by the mercy of the devotee. So when we turn towards Krishna, we say, I have forgotten you so many lifetimes, Krishna. When we say this one, Krishna will be delighted. Delighted is the extreme term, degree of happiness. If you say happy, it's on the lower grade. If you go to the English dictionary and look for what delighting or thrilled means, those are the extreme expression of something which is unexplainable. So if you say I'm happy, it is just a basic thing. I'm happy to see you, Prabhuji. You came here. When you say I'm thrilled to see you, Prabhuji, I'm delighted to see, that's a higher degree of usage of the expression. So here, Maharaj is carefully using Krishna is not just simply happy. Krishna is delighted. Krishna will be delighted. He will say, I'm so happy you or you, I'm so happy you have said this. I tried to tell you through the sadhus and shastras. I also sent you reminders through my material nature that you turn to me, but you were not listening. Now, finally, you have heard me. Wonderful. We'll continue. One more paragraph. At that time, Krishna becomes active. He embraces anyone who seriously tries to connect with him when chanting. Jagannath Pandita concludes. It's not to say that only Krishna is active, otherwise is inactive or anything like that. Krishna, we are accelerating, we are triggering Krishna by these process of expressions. So here again, Jagadananda Pandita concludes, Krishna tare tena jina chit shaktira bhala maya akarshana chade haya durbhala. Then Lord Krishna makes this soul strong with his transcendental eternal potency. And the overbearing power of the Lord's spiritual potency weakens Maya's influence over the living entity. One more time. Then, when we pray in this mood with this proper Sambandha Jnana, what happens is that Krishna tare dhena nijachit chaktira bhala maya akarshana chare haya durbhala. Then Lord Krishna makes his soul strong with his transcendental eternal potency. And the overbearing power of the Lord's spiritual potency weakens Maya's influence over the living entity. We can stop here, a lot more to come. Three more pages on this one, and then we'll move into the Sambandha Jnana's exercise and practical application. At this moment, I'd like to really sincerely take a moment to congratulate Gopal Prabhu and Srinivas Prabhu and Anjali Mataji for taking up this commitment of themselves in their life to become more serious in Krishna consciousness, because how you are serious depends on what step you take in your life. We can just continue as we are for the rest of our life without committing ourselves, and then keep on saying that I'm not there yet, I don't know. Like the elephant example that Maharaj showed, Chachinanda Maharaj told a few days back. We are tied to ourselves, imaginary rope, and think, I cannot get out of this one, I cannot get out of this one. But then it's just excuses for not taking up Krishna consciousness seriously. But as part of our aspiring group here, it's nice to see each one of you are gradually taking up your commitment to the next life, next stage of your life, and taking initiation is a serious commitment. So I really thank three of you, and also Bhimala Mataji going one step ahead of taking the second initiation also. So that is another commitment of showing your Brahmanical sattvic qualities. So that doesn't mean the first initiate devotee should not be having sattvic qualities. It's all part of inclusive of everything. So I don't know if Srinivas Prabhu, what's this? Sita Prajna Das and Ananga Sundari and Ghariyan Prabhu, right? Correct? So beautiful names. Thank you all very much. Congratulations. I think you'll do wonderful and set an example to other devotees. Thank you. Congratulations. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you, everyone. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. I'm looking for more initiations taking place by others sooner. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, congratulations.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.